And the good news is the weather is awesome. It's cold out here. I'll have to check my watch to see what it says it is in the National Forest. The breeze makes it just plain uncomfortable at times. However, it's not raining, it's not snowing. The ground, however, is muddy if you're in the sun. So, let's see. Hi everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres. And I was just thinking that this reminds me of a Beatles song I was listening to the other day on Sirius Radio called Mama Said There'd Be Days Like These. So this morning, great weather, had a wonderful breakfast that Henry made, started into our various chores, and first thing on my list was to go up to the storage trailer, which is at the top of the hill here, verify that we had everything out of there that we needed to, lock it, check the water tanks, and possibly decide to change the water tanks over. So I dealt with the trailer. I grabbed out a couple of extension cords that we talked about taking with us, locked that up, went over to check the water tanks, got up on the blocks and checked the levels of water in each tank, and decided I would make my life simpler by going ahead and changing the water tanks over now rather than later today or tomorrow. See, the one water tank is getting close to the bottom. The problem with that is if the water tank runs out, then we're going to wind up with air in the line, and we're going to have to burp the line, and it's a little bit of a pain. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you're talking about a half hour worth of fiddling around to get the water out. Sometimes it goes faster than that, but sometimes it can really, you can wind up with an air bubble in the line that just doesn't want to leave. It's just sometimes an annoyance you don't want to have to deal with. So we decided, okay, Henry had already said, it's up to you. I decided, okay, I'm going to switch over tanks. So I locked the one tank that was closed, the one tank that was already open, and that's the one that had almost nothing in it. And I started opening the other tank, and I went, I hear water running. That is never a good thing. And I looked up to see where the water was running, and out of the corner, I could see water squirting a foot in the air. So I quick turned off the valve. What happened was, the tank that we're currently not using, which is a taller tank that holds 2,500 gallons, but it's not currently being used because we suspect there's a leak in the pipe somewhere. Well, the pipe just plain broke there and was squirting water straight up in the air. And because the tank that I was opening had a lot of back pressure to it, because it's taller, it's full of water, it was literally forcing water back up that pipe, which wouldn't normally be a problem if there wasn't a break in the pipe. So I turned off the water. I told Henry and told him, got a problem, got a broken pipe. And he has gone off to the hardware store to buy some, it's called Red Hot. It's a sealer that you can use on PVC pipe if the pipes are wet. So you could actually literally repair something that's leaking at that moment if you need to with that. And we don't normally keep much of that around because we normally wait in between and make sure everything's dry and everything like that. But it's cold and we just plain need to get it done. So that puts me back to where I was going to before. I'd actually planned to do some laundry this morning, obviously not doing that. The pump and everything, the water system is turned off for the house. So we have just as much water as is in the pressure tank and stuff like that right now, which is fine. We have plenty of drinking water and stuff. I'm not concerned about that. I got all the dishes done yesterday, right before dinner. Of course, we made a whole bunch of new dishes this morning, but that's just the way it is. I'm not going to skip breakfast because of that. So I'm going to continue packaging things, and what I need to do now is I need to solve a couple of packing problems that I have here. And then once those are solved, I'm going to be mushing things into the back of the, well, front, back, call it what you want. I tend to think of it as the back, but it's actually the front of the truck. up against where the cab is to get the packing in there. I've already got, I have room for, the easiest way, I figured it in terms of room for, I have room for 6 more of these boxes on the standard stacks, and then some smaller stuff on top of that, and then I start moving forward and getting into these areas here, which are currently open, or look mostly open. They're kind of messy, but so these two have kitchen supplies in them. This is pots and pans and a roll of paper towels, a few disposable utensils in case we need those. I still need to get my kitchen box, which is over there, that has dainty stuff in it. The timer, the measuring spoons, all that sort of stuff. I'm still packing some food in the house, and my first chore is actually to fix this box. So these boxes contain some rather expensive lights. These are actually workshop lights, but they're battery powered. And what that allows us to do is that when we are at an event that does not have electricity, we can use these lights to provide pretty darn good lighting for the shop. We don't stay up open after dark very much. In Pennsylvania we do, because we actually have electricity and we're expected to stay open a little bit there, especially for Midnight Madness, which is one late night shopping event that they do there. We normally stay open till 6 or 7 o'clock at night then, and then we shut it. For Midnight Madness we're usually open 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, unless it rains. But we need to be able to keep these shop lights safe, and these boxes were never intended for long-term storage, but that's what we're using them for, at least for now. I suspect long-term we will come up with some other solution, but short-term we're making this work. So what I have is I have a piece of cardboard that goes in this end of the thing that wants to spring open, and when it springs open I can't slide the light in there. So I decided I was going to go ahead and break down and open this other end of the box, which had never been opened before, and I'm kind of glad I did, because it came open way too easy, which means it could have fallen apart this time, and that would not have been a good thing. So I'm taping this so that it hopefully will not spring open again, and that it will hopefully allow me to slide the light in there correctly. I'm going to replace this in exactly the same position it was in before, just like this. So I went to check and see how the other box was packed, and when I picked it up, the bottom of the box popped open. And the reason it popped open was because that adhesive that I saw on this box that was pretty cold sensitive had let go. So I checked to see how the other one was put together, and my conclusion is this one has just been too messed up from being squashed, and I'm wasting my time by trying to repair it. So I'm going to remove part of this cardboard with the old knife that I used to use when I worked in the field as an archaeologist. Some nice, has very fond memories associated with it, including some that I probably shouldn't share, because I would probably upset someone. But that's okay. It has done everything from cut plastic to skin snakes to all kinds of happy things. Probably even cut some bread at some point. But the rule was it's always got to be sharp. So I knew it was put away sharp, and instead of looking for some blasted utility knife that was dull as a old rock, I decided I would just do the right thing and use what I knew was going to be a sharp knife. What I've done is I've cut out some of this extra padding in here, because I was thinking about it. These things are designed to be thrown around by construction guys, and our goal, of course, is to have this stuff last forever. So we're not going to throw it around any more than we need to. But I'm hoping that that will be enough in terms of rearranging to allow that to fit in there properly. Unfortunately, I have to kind of at least tape it a little bit to double check that. But I'm just going to use a piece of tape right now. I have to steal this tape from my shipping station that I use for shipping my packages. And let's see if we fit in now. Hopefully the answer will be yes. And life will be good. And the answer is yes, and life is good. So I do have another piece of cardboard here. Put this away. I used to carry this on my belt all the time in its cute little case for when we needed to cut plastic or ropes or just any old thing. There we go. And now I have the top spot, which does help to keep it from rattling around quite a lot. Quite square, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Just have to kind of go in there. Good enough. The nice thing is that it's got one of those annoying locking flap tops. But we'll use that until it falls apart, because it does help keep everything tidy in the truck. Kids, you can go in. I know you can. Probably doesn't like the cold any more than my fingers like the cold. There we go. Now that we know that it's in, I will. Oh, it's not light either. I will put a ridiculously large quantity of tape on here. All right. Now, okay. So. If you think about this, this is basically an entire building. It's got a tent that's 20 by 20. It's got a bedroom. There's the bed. And here's the wood that goes to the bed. It has a shop up front, and it has a kitchen in the back. So, yeah, the only thing we don't have is plumbing. So I need to take this piece out, and that goes in the house. This one is all the way to the back. I can get this up, because this is fragile and it cannot be squashed. It's got a plastic box in it. It can't be squashed. It's a display case, actually. All right. Whew. Okay. Back in the house. Back in the house. Okay, tape gun. We call this our office box. It has pens and pencils and stuff like that.